This is Triple Divide Peak in Montana. Triple Divide Peak is special because rain and melting snow can flow west to the Pacific Ocean, north to the Arctic Ocean, or east to the Atlantic Ocean. And this is us. We're four friends following the water from Triple Divide Peak, 3,500 miles by canoe to the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. This is the story of our rivers on the river.
Welcome back to On the River. Last week we were on Triple Divide Peak. We followed the melting snow by foot all the way to Cut Bank Creek. Now on day 7 we made it 108 miles down the river and are having so much fun canoeing. This week we'll learn about sediment, erosion, and glaciers, and how the tall cliffs around Cut Bank Creek were formed.
Cut Bank is beautiful.
Why is it called Cut Bank?
Look at these banks that have been cut.
Cut by what?
Cut by the water, of course.
By water?
That's right. Water is a strong force that changes the very ground we stand on. Water is always working and changing the landscape.
When it's moving fast, it can carry a heavy load.
Unclear or murky water is a sign that the water is working. It carries dirt and tiny rocks downstream. We call those small rocks and dirt sediment. When water stops moving, the sediment drops to the bottom.
How did the sediment get in the water?
Water is always working. It has 2 jobs. One is to scrub the surface and get this sediment. And the second is to move that sediment downstream. That scrubbing is called erosion. Erosion is when water scrubs and washes the sediment away. After many years of erosion, the water forms a V-shaped valley, especially in places where the soil isn't very strong.
So all valleys are formed by water carrying rocks and sediment away.
Well, it's not the only way.
Some valleys are formed by glaciers. Glaciers are really big, really heavy chunks of moving ice. They're basically frozen rivers. When those big chunks of ice move downhill, they push sediment aside and form a U-shaped valley.
So is Cut Bank formed by erosion or glaciers?
It was formed by erosion. Can you see the V-shaped valley? If you hike out of the V-shaped valley, you will see that the surrounding land is pretty flat.
Are we going to see any U-shaped valleys on this trip?
We already have! Remember at the start of our trip when we were on Triple Divide and walked down Atlantic Creek to Cut Bank Creek? We were in a U-shaped valley carved by glaciers. The glaciers have melted, so they're not there anymore. Can you see the U-shaped valley?
Wow, water is always working. Through erosion and glaciers, water is moving sediment, shaping the earth, and making it a beautiful place for us to live. Even the cliff swallows nesting on the eroded banks of Cut Bank are happy with water's work. Let's continue downstream and see how water shapes our planet.